afternoon, everyone. Welcome on Power Saturday 2020 online. And this is track dedicated for, well, mostly teams. And my session, one team to rule them on, and how to use teams, on how to utilize teams in project management. And quick few words about me. My name is Marcin Siewnicki. I'm from Poland, from Warsaw. I work as an Office 365 architect and consultant in ISCG, and I'm also a SharePoint Saturday Warsaw organizer. My main area, focus area, Office 365 Teams, SharePoint Online. Well, since I'm a SharePoint guy, I've been working with SharePoint for 15 years now. And modern workplace, that's my expertise and mainly hobby also. But okay, let's switch and let's go to our agenda. So first I will talk why teams. Why do we need to use such a fancy tool in project management? Then I will talk a little about building blocks, what we can find inside teams and what we can use, what's helpful for project management. Then I will talk about data sources and possibilities to integrate teams with external data sources. Then a quick view about apps and PowerApps, how we can use it to quickly create tools that we need in our project management process. In this case, I will show you a risk assessment tool. Very simple, but I think it's powerful. Then reports in project, how to use what we can do with teams, how can we achieve reporting capabilities in teams. And at the end, a little automation, how to automate process of creation of our teams in projects if we have more than one, I assume. So let's start. Why teams? Well, in real life, we have at least project plan. Most projects we have project plan. We have a lot of meetings. That's, I think, the most important part of the project meetings. Notes, code repositories, of course, if it's IT project and when we create some application or at least some automation and scripts. We have documents, a lot of documents, a lot. This is also the very time-consuming and space-consuming part of projects, creating documentation, transformations, sending, receiving, a lot of work with documents. Tasks, of course, that's a very important part. Communication, I think that's the most important part in projects, but we commonly underestimate that one. Of course, we have somewhere customer. Sometimes he's involved in project management. Sometimes he's totally out of team and only wait for some outcome. And of course, we have project team, so project manager, analysts, testers, where any required people or persons that we need to in our projects. And that team communicates with or interact with every single part of our projects, with documents, with tasks. Depends on the requirement, depends on the project type. And of course, if we let customer to interact with us, so there's a lot of communications, a lot of miscommunications, interactions. So it's even it's a small project, small application for, I don't know, 6 weeks, let's say IT project for 6 weeks. It's really simple and should be simple, but commonly it requires a lot of meetings, a lot of documents, notes, emails, or even hundreds of thousands of emails. And well, we tend to create a little mess in our project because we also like to use many different applications for project plan, for meetings, for storing documents, sending emails or sending messages, creating nodes, using some external, mainly external systems or services for task management, for planning, for code repositories, etc. So that's why I think that Teams is very powerful and very handy if we use it in a proper way in project management. Because Teams, it's a hub for that gather inside communication, files, collaboration on files, meetings, business applications, business processes, as well as it can connect to external services. So we can create, using Teams, we can create a hub where we store all of our information for a project, all our communication and other artifacts that we need in our project. So building blocks, what we have in Teams that we can use for project management specifically. We have teams. So this is the group of people that work on some specific project or department. In this case, for a project, we have channels. So this is the feature that we can use to divide communication inside our team for specific purposes, like channel for project management, channel for talk with customer, for developers, for tests, etc. We have tabs. So tabs we can use as additional application. So each tab is an additional application for some specific purposes. We have also application that we can embed inside those tabs. We have automations that we can use to build business processes, even business processes inside our teams. We have more notification bots for some advanced scenarios, adaptive cards, message extension, and modules. Those are for advanced scenarios, and I won't talk about them. I will focus only on basics. So teams, channels, tabs, applications, and automation a little. So data sources. I think that's the most important part, because before we can think about how to use Teams in project management, or how to deploy Teams as a project management hub for entire organization, we should think and check if we can connect or integrate with our existing applications, services, data sources, because it's very important, because we would like to use Teams as a one tool, one service, one hub for other existing or used applications or services. So for data sources, we have, for user interface, we can integrate and show different data sources or different data in tabs using bots, adaptive cards, message extensions, modules or notifications. And as a backend, we can use a lot of Microsoft 365 services like SharePoint, like PowerApps, Flow, Graph, Azure, or dedicated connectors or webhook. And this is also very important, because we can use Teams. We don't need only to, or we're not blocked only to Microsoft services or Microsoft stack, because it would be boring and a big showstopper, because it's in most companies, even in most of my customers, there's a lot of vendors, and it's hard to keep only one vendor and focus only on one type of applications from vendors. So we can connect, so teams can connect and can utilize data from, of course, Microsoft services, like Excel, OneNote, Planner, SharePoint, Dynamics, PowerBI, Yammer, etc. But we can use external, not non-Microsoft services like JIRA, like Trello, like what we have. We can embed YouTube. We can use Salesforce, Google Analytics, GitHub. Okay, GitHub is currently in Microsoft, but there's a lot of applications, and I think that's now it's the time to switch to demo to show you how many applications or how many data sources we can use. So, well, there's a huge list. At least I never counted this, but we have at least 300 dedicated, ready-to-use applications. So, if we need something, and so we can simply search. If I need JIRA, I can use JIRA Cloud app. If I want Trello, there's Trello, of course. What's more? There is also more apps button, and we have all huge list with ready-to-use out-of-the-box application that we can use and to connect with external services. So it's a good idea to, before we start creating our project team for the first time in our company, to go here and go around and maybe using search to find if there's if we use some specific non-Microsoft application, if it's there. If not, we can then think about how to use that external services in Teams. But if there's a dedicated application, so that's very good. We can use it without any additional configuration. That's very important. Okay, so now go back to our project. So as I said, my main goal to create to use Teams for project management is to create one central place for entire tasks, entire communication and artifacts that we use every day in our project management. So I created a project team. It's a classic regular team. So I can create from scratch, make it private and give it a name. Let's say Power Saturday project. It needs some time. Okay. I won't add anyone, maybe. Add someone. Okay, add 2 users. So we start with a general channel. So this is the main channel that we can communicate with other members of our project. But a good idea is to to create additional channels to separate communications and not to make it to simplify that communications, not to put everything inside one channel. So you can go and create channel, and maybe not the best practice, but a good idea is to create to use some emojis, some icons. So if I type Windows plus dot, I can use built-in icons. I suggest use only simple icons, not stick to some fancy or hard to identify icons, but make it simple. Make it, let's say, green circle, and okay, it will be what? Desktop. And we can create additional channels with with the same type of icons. It's a good idea to keep it simple and keep it consistent. Because if we use, I have a similar channel, maybe this one. No, this one should be. Yep, this one. Okay, we can use fancy icons, but for long term, it's not easy to use that kind of identification symbols, because if you have 5 channels and 20 teams, it's really hard to quickly identify the channel purposes. But using colors and simple shapes, we can simply identify. And moreover, if we use the same pattern over each project team, it's very easy to, if we create or start additional project, it's very easy to start and go to the proper channel, because we know the color, we know the symbol. I have this project PS1 already created, so I have not desktop green but test should be. I have 4 colors, only circles, so it's easy to identify if I name that. And name it tests. Oh, that's better. So green, that's tests. That's very, very easy to identify. If I create yellow for dailies, where's yellow? Yellow for dailies. Yeah, so it's very, very easy to find out that specific channel if I'm new to the project or working with many projects. It's very easy to use that pattern to quickly find channels. So I can create channels and divide my communication, my stream work inside those channels. What's more important that we can use, because it's at Teams, we can invite external users to our team, to our project team. External user can be our customer or our partner that we work with on that specific project. So we can invite external users. We don't need any license for that. We can invite you invite that external users using only his email. Let's say domain here. So I can type my customer email address and add him, and that user will get an email message with instructions how to connect to that team. So using this external or guest capabilities, we can invite our customer to the team, to the project team, and contact, communicate with him, send him documents. We don't need to use emails anymore, or can mostly eradicate emails. That's very important, because we don't want to use many tools. We want to use Teams and maybe some others, but focus on Teams. So removing emails is a very good idea. And because I invited external user, he will get access to entire project team. But if I want to talk about something about internal things, about something that my customer don't need to know, or finance stuff, or maybe some developer talks about crucial things inside, about holidays, etc. So my customer, he doesn't need to know that, or even can't know that, or is not allowed to know some information. So I can use inside my team a private channel. So I can create a private channel. So it will be red icon. Red. Here's red icon, and I call it internal. And now I can invite specific members to that private channel, and using that functionality, I separate communication from my guests invited to that project team. So I'm sure that no one from external users will be able to enter my internal channel. So it's not visible for them. So it's only visible to users that are assigned to that specific channel. So if I want to create additional channel, let's say DevTalk as before, pilot, okay, and DevTalk. No, it's not private. Oh, okay. Anyway, but the colors are correct. So I have an internal channel, a private channel for closed communication inside my project. Other channels, other channels inside that project are visible to my external users, to my customer. So I can decide which part of the project, which data are visible to them, to him, and which are not. So we can strictly regulate what we show and what we share to our customers. That's very important because we don't need to, using that private channels, we don't need to create separate teams for internal communication in project or external communication with customer. And I know a lot of customers that create at least two teams or create additional SharePoint share directly to communicate or to share files with customer, and they of course use Teams, but I don't know how to use it properly. Okay, so we have private channels for private communication, channels, regular channels for communication about project and with our customer if we invited him. So what next? Of course, we have files. No, before I go to files, I will show you some quite new feature. If you want to talk about project, about plans, dailies, etc., we can use those channels to target communication. That's good. But if you want to target or talk to only to specific group of people, we can use tags. Tags is a quite new feature inside Teams. So we can create a tag, let's say PM, and assign people to that tag. I will be product manager here. So I create new tag, let's say dev, of course me, and maybe Adele. So I have two tags, dev and PM, and why do I need those tags? I can use tags to quickly and target my communications. So I can use @sign and using dev. I see that there's tag icon with this etiquette, so I can use it and this communication, this message will be targeted only to this dev team, so to these two members. So I don't need to find out and type Marcin and Adele. Okay, for one, it's okay for one person. For two, okay, I can do this. But no, typing and mention 15 or 20 person, it's well, we can make a mistake and it's a waste of time. So we can use tags to create tags for each of the role in our project, and then quickly and easily target communication to that people. So and others can simply mention us using those tags as well. So PM, I need help, and because I'm inside that PM group or tag, so I will get a notification about that. So it's very, very well, powerful feature, but you must go and create tags manually. So there's no automation here. So you must create and assign each member to each tag you create. Okay, so we have tags, we have channels. We can also use files, of course. That's one of the best features inside Teams. So collaboration and co-authoring on files using Teams. So you can create folder structure as we need. We can upload files, multiple files. The size limit or storage limit for Teams is 25 terabytes. So it's so huge, so well. It's capable of host files for really, really big projects, even those with for buildings or architecture stuff with huge files or PSD files or CAD files. So that's not the case. So we have a lot of place, so we can store a lot of data here, and we can also create a folder for files from our customers. So if we invite customer, external user to our project team, we don't need he doesn't need to send us email with attachments, with some information, with some documents. He can simply go to our project team, to dedicated folder, and upload the file. So that's very powerful and very easy to use, and we don't need to rely on emails, on attachment size, etc., or blocked file types. And of course, if we use Word or Office documents like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, we can open those documents directly from Teams. If I create a Word scope of work, okay, so I can edit this document directly from. I don't open my desktop application. I can do this directly from Teams, and we can do this I can do this with other people simultaneously, so we don't need to check out file, check in file. We can edit for a few people at once. But there's one file type that is not supported to open inside Teams, but it's very but I lost that file. No, but it's very popular in project management. If we use project application from Office, so it's MPP file, we can of course upload it to the Teams. That's good. But if I click it, it won't open. There's no out-of-the-box, preview that we can use. The only way we can use it is download. That's for me not the best idea. The better one is to open it in project directly. So that's open project, and it will open my project, my Office, my desktop application, desktop project app with this file and with connection to this file. Yep. This is my project connected directly to my Teams. So if I change something, add new task, modify task, assign some resources, it will be not automatically, but it will be saved, of course, to my there's a path to that project, to that team, so it will be automatically saved to the Teams file tab. So maybe not the best solution. So but we can use full feature desktop project app connected to the Teams. So we must have a desktop project app with license connected to that. But it's possible we can use it. The other option is to use some visualization of the project is to use project online, but we also need some licensing for project online. And I have where I have this. We can simply use web this feature that we can embed. So it's a website. We can use a website tab and simply embed a website and the project online website, and it will gather our username and authenticate for us. But it's a website. It's not a native or out-of-the-box application dedicated for project, and it's not connected to project file, to MPP. It's only show the project online space. So that's two features two things that we must keep in mind. So we can use project MPP files. We can connect directly to Teams or save directly to Teams, but there's no preview for project files in Teams. So we won't see anything. I hope it will change somewhere in the future, but currently no. Only download or connect or open in project desktop application. So that's for the files. What next? Next, if it's a project management, if it's a project about IT stuff, so we need some code, we need some code repository, pipelines, etc. So we have some automation and a lot of tasks. We can use at least 2 or maybe 3 out-of-the-box applications for our project. First, here we can use if we use in our projects Azure DevOps, we can use built-in application in Teams that will connect to our DevOps dashboard and display all stuff that we. Oh, come on, load. Okay, this is some sample project in my Azure DevOps. It's some 134 tasks or items. So I can create such dashboard and embed and display it to project members. So each project member will be able to see these artifacts, these task assigned, work in progress, items, etc. I can modify this dashboard. It's not, I can modify it from Azure DevOps. So I have to go to the Azure DevOps and modify that. Then I will, will be able to, to see other things. I have here should be the other one. No, this power, not that one. And to use that one, to use the Azure DevOps, we can Azure DevOps. It's very simple, and well, the same way, we can use the same way, or it's in many features. So I need to sign into my Azure DevOps, choose my organization, that's my test, choose my team or maybe project, that's this one, select the team, so that's this one, and select the dashboard, that's it, and it will embed this one. So it's pretty easy to use. We can embed this, but it's, as you can see, it's I can click on this and it will load me. It will load for me entire query for this. So in fact, I'm using Azure DevOps inside Teams. I don't need to switch to or use additional web browser or additional tab for Azure. I can use it inside my Teams as a tab, and it's very powerful because I can add a new feature, add a new bug. Let's say errors in labels. I can assign the task to someone, modify and simply work. If it's not required for using tools like Visual Studio, I can easily work directly from Teams and not using anything else. I don't need anything else. In fact, I can work here. I can even schedule builds or other Azure artifacts, and it's pretty well, super powerful, I must say. So that's okay. That's for Azure is Microsoft product, so it's Microsoft stack. So okay, it's fully integrated. That's good. But what about other tools? If I use, for this example, JIRA Cloud, there's also a dedicated application for JIRA, and I can embed the same way as I used in Azure DevOps. So I need to simply search JIRA, choose JIRA Cloud. I have to put my link to my JIRA account, so it's my username here or organization. I connect, then choose filter, And that's it. It will display my predefined filter in JIRA inside my teams. But that's not all. I can directly from here open a task or issue and work on that issue. Assign it, change status, maybe create a new issue. And now we have okay, I have to choose my project, task, summary. That's it. Successfully created, and it will appear here soon. I will refresh that one. And yes, task number 18, error, unassigned. Go here and work on that task. So depends on our requirements, services, or company policies. We can now use not only Microsoft, but also external services to project, to task management, to code management. If there's some kind of tool or services that's not available in predefined apps in Teams, we have at least two options. We can create our own, but it's time-consuming, resource-consuming, and required knowledge, dedicated team, etc. But if it's possible, we can use a website tab and simply type a URL to that to our application. If it's I don't know, at some event Trello or something, or even we can use the same for JIRA. We can embed a JIRA website here, and it will work the same way as we can use it in external website or external browser. So, and this is very important because if we create or embed even our websites or tools as a tabs, we don't need to switch to other browser, to other tabs. We don't need to have thousands of tabs inside in our browsers. We will simplify our project tool stack and well, keep it simple. I will remove that one. Okay. So it depends of what tools do we use, do we need. We can use Azure DevOps, JIRA, or find or look for any other tools that, if it's cloud, it's really to integrate, because if not, using direct app, we can embed this as website. If we want to use tasks, but not as powerful as DevOps, Azure DevOps, or JIRA, we can use Planner, but for very simple projects, or maybe as an additional task tool for our project. We can also use to-do list from Microsoft, and very soon, yes, integration between Teams and tasks. Outlook task is coming to Teams really soon, so we will be able to integrate as well those tasks. So that's for the external sources. There's a lot of them, and well, you must go and find and search and find the best approach to use your existing tools, because we don't want to rebuild entire tool stack to Microsoft or something like this. No, we can use, if possible, existing tools and services and simply use Teams as a hub for those tools. Okay, what next? Next, let's see at our time, 20 minutes, okay. Reporting, because we can create a lot of tools, a lot of tasks, a lot of files, talk with our customer, send messages, etc. But if we would like to see progress of our project, and I think that's the most important part for project managers, we can use Teams to embed our existing reports or create a new reports. Of course, you can use Excel. So use Excel or create a report inside Excel with fancy charts, pivots, etc., and put it on SharePoint and embed it as a direct tab here. But it has limitations. But you can use also a Power BI. Power BI app, Power BI feature. So what does it do for us? So first I will need Power BI license for creating, for sharing my report. Then I will put my report to my workspace, to some dedicated workspace. It doesn't matter. Then I can go here and embed my report in my team, in my specific channel. And it will display that report, and it's fully interactive. So if I go here and click, let's say, work in progress chart, work in progress, come on. Okay, forecast works. If I click forecast, so it will switch to forecast tab, and I can check something, change filters, modify existing. This is not, go back to dashboard. And functionalities and connections between charts depends on the report itself, but it's fully interactive. We can even, what's very important, use conversation for that report. If I go here and start, let's say PM, so I use the tag feature. Please check typos. Not this. Okay. I can use chat functionality to talk about specific report, Power BI report, and I don't need to switch to my post, to my chat window. I can do it directly from Power BI tab. That's very, very easy because I don't need to switch. I don't want to switch. And the less moves, the better for me. And Power BI is natively supported here, so you don't need anything, any additional application. I don't need to use website to embed. I can simply go use Power BI, select my published Power BI report, and that's all. I can use features, filters, gather data. I can use also export data directly from Teams to Excel file. So I can work with that report the same way I can use in Power BI website. So that's the reporting capabilities, and I strongly recommend to use Power BI or to embed Power BI inside Teams because it simplifies our work. I don't want to switch to different type of websites and remember where I have each tool or each report. So I can embed it here, and it will gather all required information about that project. So project managers can simply go check the progress, check the forecast, flow, whatever we put here. And we still stick to our team. We don't need external tools. Okay, so let's do the next point. So next one is PowerApps and risk apps. Because in many cases, I go here, we use external tools like JIRA, Azure DevOps, Trello, whatever. But we can also use or want to use probably some dedicated applications for our project, like risk assessment. So some tool that we will use to gather information about risk, about project progress, etc. It depends on our needs. But risk assessment is one of the most missing, I think. So we can create a PowerApps. If you're familiar with PowerApps, it's no code or low code tool to create apps in Office 365. It's very easy to create a simple application. We don't need to create. I will close that one. So this is my sample risk assessment application. I spent about 40 minutes to create it and embed it on my teams. And we can use context feature, so the specific feature inside Powerups, and that automatically find out the team name and can use that team name for filtering or something like this. So we can use one PowerUp application and use it across all our projects teams. So if we have 100 project teams, so we can use only one risk assessment app, and this app will be automatically filtered by those project name. So I have a very easy application, very easy Power App. I can simply add a risk. Coffee. I need to put my some information here. Yes, impact. Oh, coffee. I can't work without coffee. And save, and it will appear here with some colors, with some maybe additional information that we create and put here. And if I want to, we can go here and modify this. And so it's very simple. We can really create it from very simple with only basic capabilities, basic functionalities. We don't want to use or to create a fully featured, fancy, super, I don't know, totally, extremely final application and then use it. No, we should keep it simple and do that one step at a time. So create a simple application, use it, then add some features, use it, and use that way of progressing. And I can use, because it's a Powerups, it's a, where's the Powerups? I can add it here as a Powerups and simply choose from my published apps. This one is risk assessment, so it's published with my own icon. So I can use it, assign it, or use it in a specific channel that I need, use it across all of my project teams. So that's easy. And because it's Powerups and because it's apps inside teams, my IT management or IT staff can manage this app from central panel, from Teams central panel. And it's very important because we don't want to, if we have many projects, we don't want to go to each project and manually add, click plus, go to Powerups, assign, choose the right application. Okay, I have only 2, but if there could be situation when we will have 20 or 50 applications, so it's not easy or not quick enough. So we can let to our IT to propagate that application or even globally deploy it to our teams. I can remove that one. Yep. And we can also, of course, dig inside tab feature and find the applications or tabs that we need. Because there's a lot of very, very useful applications like PDF. You can embed PDF file with some important document. You can use, of course, OneNote as a main place to store information. I have this OneNote here, project notes. Okay, and I have a lot of information here. Okay, too many clicks. So I have divided into the dev team section, test team, PM with predefined pages for each information. So we can use it as a main center for storing information. And it's very useful because we have one place, one store for our information, and we can, what's very important, we can search through the one node. So I don't need to go and find, let's say, PM, meetings, and search for some information. I can use search, or I can directly connect that one node to my one node application and use it from desktop app also. So we can, if we need, I strongly recommend to go here and look through the tabs, look through the apps, and add tabs and features or apps that you need for your everyday work. If you need stream for storing videos, maybe technical videos, training videos, add a stream. If you want SharePoint for some pages with info, use the SharePoint. The same for Word and for other applications. There's a lot of predefined out-of-the-box apps, so go here and look for them. Okay, there's one more feature. I have 10 minutes, okay? Not bad. Not that bad. As you can see, I use icons for some of my teams. It's nice feature to select specific icon for a team, but let's imagine a situation when I have 50 projects or 20 projects and some other teams. So using a specific icon for each project, it's not a good idea. We will end with duplicate icons or icons without any sense. But what I suggest, to use very simple icons like this. So this is only green square with P. And why that simple? Because I will modify this one for this. Manage team. Upload picture, and I must find that. No. Always the same. Give me a minute. It's profile picture too. Yep. Okay, close. So why I suggest to use a very simple and the same icons, the same icon for multiple teams. In project management, if we work on many projects, 20 projects, 10 or whatever, I know project managers that work with 20 projects plus 20 archived, so it's a lot of teams. So it's very simple to find that this one is for project, because it's green icon with only P inside. You can use any color you want, but I suggest simply try to use very simple icons, only colors, in fact, inside, and reserve using that fancy, colorful icons for only specific teams, like marketing side, like some PR or some academy or some this one Contoso. So it's org-wide channel, org-wide team. So keep it simple. That's very important, because the more projects, this one also needs to be changed. So make it again. Profile picture. So now I can see that there's 4 project teams. So that's very easy to find. Yeah. Okay, and 6 minutes. At the end, okay, I will show you or talk a little about how to use some automation, because I can create this such fine rich team for my project. But what if I need to create I need to create teams for each of my projects, and I know companies that create at least 300 or 400 projects per year. So manual job, it's not what we want here. Currently, there's no out-of-the-box action or feature for any specific tool, so for Power Automate, that we can use to easily create a team. We, of course, can use Power Automate, but it required some work and some deep knowledge how with Graph API, with Azure AD App, and with Teams to create. But it's not so hard, but required some time and tests. But we can use the Power Automate with that pretty simple flow. So it will create a team, parse responses, assign permissions, create channels, etc. So we can. I will show you how it work or how it work for end user. So we can create a simple form. I use a SharePoint list for that because it's the simplest method. So I can use owner. So owner myself. Come on. And members also me. Privates. Description, and that's it. It will start or trigger the flow. Where's my flow? It will trigger this flow and initialize the process, gather all required information from that form, and based on that form, create a new team, but based on that one, because there's a feature inside Teams. If I want to create a team, I can use existing team. Or I can select manually using this PS1 project. And it will clone all the features inside, so apps. I can even assign the same members, tabs, team settings, etc. And it will create, create the same team automatically for me. It will take a few minutes, so I think we won't see this, but it will create the same project as this PS1. The one important information is that it will create all tabs that we put inside that flow, but it won't configure these advanced tabs. So if I'm here connected to JIRA, it can create a tab, JIRA Cloud, but we must go there and manually configure the connection to JIRA. So we must manually select the filter for JIRA, etc. So it won't configure the tabs. It will create tabs with and will wait for additional configuration. But it's some kind of governance or some kind of automation that we can use. And if we plan to use it for many projects, for dozens or hundreds of projects a year, so it's important to know that we can automate it. And I think that the automation will be even more enhanced this year because new features are coming to Teams this year. Okay. So we're out of time.
You still have 2 minutes.
Yes, 2 minutes, and I out of my demo right now.
Great.
So that's good. So if you have any question, please type them on chat. If not, type them on chat, and I will answer maybe a little later after my lunch. Is there any new question? Nope. So thank you very much for your time, for watching my session. And I hope that you find something interesting inside this and maybe some ideas how to use Teams in project management and maybe in other areas. And have a nice weekend.
Thank you very much for this very interesting session. So I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat.